Okay, call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to I'd like to recognize two employees, Melody Spence. Melody is the current administrative assistant in student services, and she will be formally retiring from the North Brookfield Public Schools, and her last day is Friday. So Melody has been part of the community since 2007, starting off as the high school guidance secretary and then the main office secretary at the junior senior high. And then because she was so masterful, they've transitioned her over to the special education and people personnel department where she's been for the last 5 years. So she's moving on to a great new adventure with her husband, and we're really thankful that we had Melody here, and we have a new assistant moving over, and her name is Megan Morgan. Megan is moving over to the special ed department.
Congratulations.
So thank you, and we also have Allison Bulger, who is also leaving. Allison took another position in the town. So Allison has been at the high school for the last 6 years, and if you go in there, she makes it a nice place to be. It's pleasant. All of her bulletin boards look wonderful. She has done a nice job of trying to make sure that the students are taken care of, and you can hear her on the announcements. So I just want to thank Allison for doing such a great job, and we also want to wish her luck in her new challenge down at the town offices.
Great, congratulations both of you, thank you for your years of service. Student Advisory Council.
We have no information to report from the last month, but our upcoming information this month, we'll be having Unity Week, which takes place February 14th to the 18th. Students will be encouraged to dress wearing different colors or themes in support of various different causes. These will include Special Olympics and mental health awareness. Student Council is putting together some buttons with encouraging quotes and colorful ribbons to hand out at lunch as a way to involve more students in supporting their cause and participating in the week's events. Student Council will also be working closely with the GSA to prepare for Unity Week. And Student Council is no longer doing concessions because of restrictions due to COVID at sports teams.
Very good, thank you very much, Joe.
Can we make sure we get those notes, Joe?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say that, but I think he's getting tired of hearing me say it, so.
We cannot do the approval of minutes because there is not a quorum of people who were here for the meeting for December 28th. So we will go on to correspondence.
Okay, I received some correspondence from the regionalization committee about the projected timeline. It's in your packet, and it looks as though the pathway to regionalization will be the Model 2 that we're moving forward with. And in that model, they also gave us a proposed timeline and how it would work. Do you want me to talk about it? I didn't attend the last meeting. The next meeting for the regionalization committee is Wednesday night. It is a Zoom meeting. I should be attending that.
Interesting. No, I think I was not aware actually that the next meeting is next Wednesday night either.
It is this Wednesday night.
Oh, this Wednesday night?
This Wednesday night.
No, not on my calendar. I'll have to reach out to you.
Okay.
That's fine.
That was from the minutes of the meeting because I didn't go, so I did make sure I took a look at them, and this is what was sent to us because we've had some questions about the projected timeline from staff, so they were able to give us a timeline of what they think the project looks like. And it looks like, if the regionalization and the voting comes through, we could be ready to regionalize by the end of 2023.
That sounds about right.
Yep. So that will be a transition year.
I have no public, so, and there are no presentations. School committee reports. Anybody have anything for the?
I do know that they. Go ahead. Oh, you want to, maybe, because you can do Matt, that's right. I forgot Matt wasn't here.
Yeah, the only thing we have to report is and the union representatives are not here because we're going to begin, we have our first meeting with the teachers union on Wednesday next week.
And who's the town rep, the selectman?
Unsure yet.
Okay, but we've reached out to them.
We've reached out there
Okay,
multiple times. So.
Okay, that's fine, as long as we've done that.
And I also did notify Matt about the custodians, they're looking to
Yes, I
also.
heard that, yeah.
So we, I've had some tentative dates set with them for the end of February, third week of February.
Great.
So that is also moving forward as well.
Financial reports?
They're all in your packet. Basically, it's payroll and expenditures at this point. We have not really been, it's mostly your basic bills. We're not really doing a lot of spending. Any supplies that are being spent right now are being spent out of budget, out of the actual ESSER funding. But most of it is just our payroll and bills, as in electric, phone, things like that. So this is what is in here. In addition to that, you'll also see the revolving grants, which is the revolving funding, which is part of the grants. And you also have food service. These are the things that are happening right now. We will be moving forward to start doing some line item changes in the next, by the end of February. Michelle has been working with Sheila, looking to taking some of the money that we've expended through the grants and putting it back into the general fund, and we'll be getting that information to be probably by the end of February.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking on now. I also want to let you know that there's also deposits in here as well. I received information from the town about our budget is due to the town by March 1st. So I will be bringing the budget to the school committee in February to take a look at.
Okay. I didn't see warrants in the packet. Did I miss that, or?
Is that in here?
I saw the line items, but I didn't see the actual warrant pages.
Oh, apparently she didn't put them in, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's fine. So we'll just add them to next month. That's
Okay,
fine.
we'll add
That's
them
not a
next
big deal.
month.
I just didn't see them, so I was looking for them. That's
Oh,
all.
they're not in there, I'm sorry.
And so the deposits was more budget, is that what you were saying, or? is
Yeah,
there
there's-
actually
there-
deposits that need to be?
The deposits that come in are mostly from after-school program, the preschool program, and some sports funding. So those deposits that are being brought forward.
Okay, do we have those itemized somewhere so we can see those as well?
Are they on
I
here?
don't want you to dig through the financials, but.
I did not look through them, but we
Okay,
can do that for you next
We
month.
can have that next month
Sure.
as well. That would just be
Yep.
good. Thank you.
That'd be great.
And we're on to the superintendent's report.
Okay, I've got quite a few things that happened over Christmas break. From Desi, was quickly changing from lots of things happened. So over Christmas break, the Desi provided each district with KN95 masks. We were allotted 4,000 masks. So each staff member had enough for however that works out. We started off with 5, and when we get through them all, we'll continue to pass them out. In addition, Desi gave everybody 1 at-home test. Initially, they were going to allow every district 2 at-home tests for everybody, but because of supply and supply chain issues, we were only allocated enough to give every staff member 1. So I'd like to commend the admin team for coming out during April, I think it was the 3rd of January. They come out on a Sunday and helped us pass out the test kits as well as putting them together. So thank you guys for coming out. Anna came, Tim, everybody came. Anna, Tim, who am I missing? Sarah. And we were all there passing them out, so that was great. In addition to that new course, on December 30th, Desi gave out some new protocols for COVID scenarios. So now, if you are fully vaccinated and you have symptoms of COVID, you can be out 5 days and come back to school and have a mask for the other 5 days. So that is, I gave everybody a copy of that, and you can click on it to check that out. Unvaccinated individuals still need to adhere to the 10-day quarantine period. Also, mask mandates were extended into February 28th. So that also happened, and I also gave you that as a link for you to take a look at. And then, on January 18th, we had some new information that the Department of Ed has realized that contact tracing has become a huge burden for the school nurses. So they've come up with a plan with the CDC to allow districts to no longer do contact tracing, but give every staff member and families who opt in COVID test kits every 2 weeks and monitor themselves. If you are symptomatic, we will continue to test folks that are symptomatic, but we'll no longer be doing contact tracing. I talked to Ethan Malad at the Board of Health, and he is, has given us okay to begin this program. We've started with the teachers this week. I have a webinar to further clarify some of the questions that some staff members are having and other superintendents about what this is going to look like as far as reporting the information, what it's going to look like for close contact. So I don't have all the information right now. I only have what they passed out, and I gave you all of that information. And then on Wednesday, we'll have a question and answer with the commissioner and the Department of Health to find out how we can further move this forward. I did talk to Maureen Floyd, our school nurse, and Jenna. They are very happy to do this because they spend almost sometimes half a day doing contact tracing and COVID testing for people, and they're not be able to do what they need to do. So we move forward with that. I started some work with Brett Costigian at Quabog on a rural innovation and efficiency grant. We are being offered $100,000 for each of us to work on what we can do to collaborate as a school district, which works out great with regionalization. Brett and I had talked about looking at some kind of math coaching and curriculum coaching to shore up everybody's curriculum on both sides of the house. So we're looking to do that together as a group. In addition, Grant and I met with Mars for the regionalization as far as staffing and financing. Tim McCormick and Anna Roberts have also done the same with their counterparts to get ready for that. I attended a SWEC board meeting where regular business was discussed. We had 2 professional development days, a half day on January 14th, where we talked about at the high school. They were preparing for their NEASC visit, which is going to happen in the spring, in April. And then North Brookfield Elementary talked about restorative practices with their staff members. We had a full day PD on January 18th, which the morning was with Alice training. We did Alice training and emergency preparedness with the chief of police. In the morning and the afternoon, the schools went and did respective work on, again, restorative practice and NEASC. Okay, and then we're started learning walks with the admin team. So the purpose of our learning walks is to see what our strengths are and what things we need to work on. So we've had 3 learning walks together as the admin team, and using this data will help us provide professional development in the future and look at areas of weaknesses and strengths and what we can focus on moving forward. I'd also like to formally announce that Tim McCormick, although many of you already know, has agreed to become the permanent principal at North Brookfield Junior Senior High School. So congratulations, Tim. We're very glad to have him aboard. He's been on duty for a while. And then I just gave everybody a copy of the monthly attendance sheet. I do know that some of the concerns with attendance have been across the country about students' concerns, but if you can take a look at our attendance sheet, it looks like overall our attendance has been in the 90 percentile almost every month, except for it dipped a little bit for this monthly attendance just for students to 89% in January. So, we're keeping a handle on where we are as far as our students. And then I also gave a copy of the COVID cases, which were this is only since December 22nd, and it probably is a little bit more because of this week isn't on there. 31 students and 4 staff members at the junior senior high. In the elementary school has 24 students and 4 staff members. And I also enclosed a copy of my newsletter, my second newsletter. And that is all that I have.
Great. Administrators reports?
Let's start with Tim.
Sure.
Or anywhere you want.
Start off. Just real quick, last Friday, the 21st, was the end of our second quarter. Report cards will go home to all families and students this coming Friday, the 28th. There will be a paper copy sent home to students, plus parents and families have access to an electronic portal for School Brains, so you can check your grades either way. Today, during our curriculum hour, we had the education consultants from Unique Potential work with our staff. Their specialty is helping our teachers develop their guidance advisory curriculum. So today we focused on the SEL competencies and working on college and career readiness planning for our students. Today was the initial meeting. We'll be working with them for the remainder of the school year. As Mary Jane said, last week during PD, we spent both Tuesday and Wednesday working on our NEASC report. Our self-reflection report is due sometime in March. Our visit is scheduled for April 26th and April 27th. What we have done with this is we've put our staff members into 1 of 5 groups. The NEASC as a whole has kind of shed down from 7 standards to 5 standards. And what we're looking at, those 5 standards are learning culture, student leadership, excuse me, student learning, professional practices, learning support, and learning resources. So every staff member is in at least one of those groups. During our PD and our staff meeting time, we're spending time looking at how we can improve our student learning in one of those 5 standard areas. So it's a lot of work, but after we finish this process, there'll be a roadmap for our decennial visit, which will be potentially in 2024. One more quick update, as Mary Jane also mentioned already, we will be welcoming Jean Marie Maury as our new executive secretary starting next week. She'll be working in the main office and for our guidance secretary as well. I want to personally thank Ms. Allison Bulger for her years of service. For those of you who know Allison, she has not only been our secretary, but she also at one point was our assistant, or excuse me, our co-athletic director. So she has touched the lives of many students and families in this community, and we want to thank her for all of her hard work and wish her the best of luck in all future endeavors. Thank you.
Guess it's you.
I guess so. Good evening. So I wanted to highlight 2 things from my report. One being just some celebrations of our music department. So we had the winter concert, which was virtual again, year 2, but Mr. Fisher continues to put on an excellent music program where he showcases the learning through videos of the students in performance, and he has just made some really great games with our students this year. So I did include the link in the report, so if you would check it, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And then also wanted to just give a shout out to Mr. Blumenthal, who is the high school music teacher, who is going to start less instrument lessons at the elementary school, which we haven't had since before COVID. So that's really exciting to be bringing that opportunity back to our students so that we can give them that foundation in elementary school so that it can carry over into middle school and high school with the band. The second thing I wanted to highlight was that our grade level teams were able to meet last week, I believe it was. And Mrs. Mack, our adjustment counselor, and Mrs. Pratt, our Title I reading specialist, who also serves as our reading coach, facilitated these meetings to discuss academics and social emotional learning in all of the areas, including curriculum tools, instructional strategies, and our assessments, not only our common assessments, but also our classroom-based assessments. So very fruitful meetings that they had last week. They compiled all of the notes and shared them with me, which will inform our staff meeting curriculum agendas for the rest of this year. So we'll be working on some of the concerns and highlights that bubbled up from those meetings. So I'm still sifting through their notes and kind of organizing our next steps. But it was a very good opportunity for our grade level teams to give us some feedback. So that's where we're at.
Is there anything in the other administrators' reports that
Did
you
you
needed?
want to say, Anna wanted you to say something?
Yeah,
about hers.
Anna had asked me to speak on her behalf, if you don't mind. So she did want me to highlight that she's been working on the self-assessment for the DESE required tiered focused monitoring for North Brookfield. So this has been an ongoing process this year. It will continue through the spring. And it's designed to review elements such as the staff licensure, professional development, parent, student, and community engagement, facilities and classroom observations, oversight, time and learning, and equal access and student discipline. So she continues to facilitate that process. She also wanted me to share that she's been meeting with the consultant team regarding the potential reorganization with Quabog. So some of the items for review in these meetings include percent of students with disabilities that have been identified, district programs, staffing, number of licensed and non-licensed staff, where and how students are served, out of district and student placements, staffing ratios, staff to students, budgets, numbers of IEPs not accepted, etc. So she wanted me to share those, couple of updates. As far as personnel, she would also like to, as Mary Jane already had mentioned, that Melody Spence is retiring on February 14th. So after completing the interviews, Megan Morgan will be taking over as that position. And she wanted to thank her for all of her hard work. She has been indispensable to the Student Services Office. So thank you very much, Mrs. Spence. In terms of our other special ed staff, we do have an ABA paraprofessional who is resigned and will be leaving on January 28th. This position has been posted, and we are currently conducting interviews in hopes to fill that position as soon as possible. And then lastly, just a CPAC update. The next monthly remote meeting will be held on January 25th at 6 p.m. And to save the date for training on March 7th from 6 to 7 p.m., the school psychologist will present on how to read and understand evaluations. So just a couple of special education, parent advisory council updates. Thank you.
I'll just go quickly, Cindy, the technology director, all of our reports have been submitted, everything is on time at this point. And then Marty just wanted me to thank the highway department for repairing the dump truck. He'd like, getting it ready to have it plowed for the winter, and so they got it back in time for the first storm, so he was really excited to have that done. Thank you for the town for getting that done. And just to let you know that we are looking, we've been meeting with French River, Marty and myself, to talk about oil prices for next year. So we're waiting to hear what our consortium looks like for oil next year. So we have been actively pursuing that together. And we're waiting to see how everything pans out, because fingers crossed, joining that is oil is expensive, so we'll see. So that's all I have for those two.
Any questions on any of the reports? I see nothing under old business. Do we have any old business, anybody? Then new business?
I have an approval of donations from a Peter Nagel. Peter donated $500 to the food pantry. I'm going to have Sarah talk a little about this because it's something he does every year.
Yes, so Peter Nagel's late wife, Susan Nagel, was this teacher here for a long time, and when she passed away, one of they created a foundation in her honor, and one of the efforts that they did every year was to pay off the lunch debt twice a year for students at both schools, and they would do it right at Christmas break and then again at the end of the year. And now that we are free and reduced lunch or free lunch for everybody, we don't have the need for those funds to be donated. So in turn, he decided to donate to the food pantry, which is another way for our students in our district to get assistance, with food insecurity. So he has since dissolved the foundation, but he does want to continue to donate on behalf of his wife. So this is a personal donation from him, and we are very grateful for his generosity, as always.
Absolutely. Thank
So
you
he
very much.
donated $500. I will need a approval to accept this donation.
We'll move to accept the donation.
Second?
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Okay.
Thank you,
Any
Mr.
other-
Nagel.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Nagel.
And we will make sure Mr. Nagel gets a letter sent to him for recognizing his efforts, and I just wanted to say that we appreciate that. And the students, on behalf of the Northwood Elementary School, do appreciate anything that anybody would like to donate to help us with the food pantry. We're always looking for support from anybody who would be having to donate.
Great. Is there anything else under new business?
I have nothing
Is there a
else.
need to go into executive session tonight?
Not this week.
Then I will accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Have a good night, gentlemen and ladies.
Make sure we put this on the meeting.